ध्वनिर्वर्णा पदम् वाक्यमित्यास्पदचतुष्टयम् यस्याः सूक्ष्मादिभेदे वाग्देवीं तामुपास्महे।
The Electronic Media Production and Research Center EMPRC of Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University present an audio program on visual impairment. This audio program will be useful to the student of B.Ed Special Education Program. The title of the audio program is Social Skills for Students with Blindness. To deliver the lecture on the topic, we have invited our subject expert, Dr. Nora Griffin-Shirley. She is a professor in the Program of Special Education of Texas Tech University in Lubbock of Texas, in the United States of America. This audio program is recorded, edited, and presented by Amar Bahadur Yadav. Let's listen to the audio program Social Skills for Students with Blindness.
Hello, dear listeners. I am a professor in the Special Education Program in the Department of Educational Psychology and Leadership of the College of Education at Texas Tech University at Lubbock, Texas, in the United States of America. In addition, I also coordinate the Orientation and Mobility Specialist Program, and I am the director of the Virginia Murray Sal Center for Research and Education in Visual Impairment. I have been teaching in a university system for over 20 years. I would like to thank M.P. Bose Open University for this opportunity to speak to you today about social skills of students with blindness. The objective for today's lecture is to provide teachers of students with visual impairments information on the social skills of children with blindness, so they can provide suggestions to teachers, parents, and their students about improving their social skills. The vocabulary for today's lecture is 1. Social skills. Wikipedia defines social skills as any skill facilitating interaction and communication with others. Social rules and relations are created through communication and changed in verbal and nonverbal ways. Number 2, social skill training. Wikipedia defines social skill training as the instruction provided to teach and enhance socialization of students with visual impairments. 3, communication partners. Wikipedia defines communication partners as people we speak with in a meaningful way, engaging in reciprocity. 4. Nonverbal communication. Wikipedia defines nonverbal communication as the process of communication through wordless messages like gestures, touch, posture, eye contact, for example. Number 5, body language. Body language is a form of nonverbal communication using body pose, gestures, and eye movements to communicate a message. Now, let's consider the following questions. A parent may ask you, why Anitha doesn't have any friends. While a general educator who has a child with blindness in her class may ask, why does Dinesh always stay by himself when we go to the playground? A hostel warden may ask, Sunitha only talks to one other individual in this hostel. Why is this? Listeners, we want to make sure that you know that Anitha, Dinesh, and Sunitha are all blind. Children with blindness do not learn social skills visually and incidentally the same way as sighted children, because they cannot observe how people interact with others. Due to delayed social skills, students may not know when to smile at someone, when to start or end a conversation, and know when and how to gesture when conversing with other people. Children with low vision also experience problems with social skills. They are in the middle of the sighted world and the blind world. These students are unique, as they may function visually in some circumstances, but need to use non-visual strategies in other situations. For example, a child with low vision may be able to travel independently without a cane during daylight hours, but in the evening, when it is dark, she needs to use a cane as she cannot see due to night blindness. Inappropriate social skills create many difficulties for children with blindness. These difficulties exhibit themselves in a lack of friends and healthy relationships, the inability to play with others, isolation, and non-assertiveness. These difficulties could affect these students' future earning capacity and happiness. In her keynote address at the 6th Canadian Interdisciplinary Conference on the Blind Child, Dr. Ann Korn discussed the difficulties people with low vision have in regards to social skills. She highlights the importance of practical knowledge in relationship to social skill development. Dr. Korn discussed how important it was for children with low vision to dress and speak the jargon of their peer group for them to be accepted. Dr. Korn also mentioned that social skills training for children with low vision was crucial for them to compensate for the delay they may have experienced by having low vision. A lack of friends and isolation are just some of the typical problems children who are blind exhibit when they are delayed in social skill development. Teachers of students with visual impairments need to provide social skill training. To provide this training, it is important to understand why children with blindness can have problems with social skill development, how training can help, and what teachers can do to assist students with blindness to develop socially. Dr. Sharon Sachs and Dr. Karen Wolf, in Teaching Social Skills to Students with Visual Impairments, From Theory to Practice, discuss the importance of positive early experiences in the development of the socialization of children with blindness. They suggest that early experiences should foster turn-taking, use of eye gaze and gestures, reciprocal interactions, and initiation of communication with other peers. Without intervention, children tend to engage in solitary play, and when they do interact with other people, it tends to be with adults rather than with their peers of the same age. An effective intervention is the use of peer modeling and teaching. According to Sachs and Wolf, peers can effectively teach social skills to children with blindness. Of course, peers with effective social skills should be selected to provide this training. Some research studies have stressed the importance of the use of peers, as Dr. Sachs and Wolf discussed earlier. During 2004 and 2005, Dr. Divya Jindal Snap, an Indian researcher, conducted single subject design studies concerning social skills of children with visual impairments at public schools in New Delhi. In all three studies he conducted, the use of self-evaluation and feedback in social skills training was an effective tool to improve the social skills and social interaction of all of the subjects who were blind. In the first study, 2 students with visual impairments who were 9 and 10 years of age and attending a public school had socialization problems, such as looking away from other students when talking with them, hitting students, and lack of initiation of conversation with their classmates. For one student, Dr. Janelle Snap looked at the modification of the direction of her eye gaze and conversational skills. And for another student, he chose the modification of the direction of her eye gaze and an increase in her conversation with her classmates. Using a multiple baseline design across behaviors, self-evaluation, and self-evaluation with verbal feedback was the treatment. These sessions were videotaped. In both cases, feedback with self-evaluation assisted in the development of the 2 subjects' social skills. In fact, both subjects improved in their eye gaze during conversations with others. This study demonstrated how important feedback from people in a blind child's natural environment is concerning their social skills. However, these people in the subject's school did not always provide this verbal feedback. In the second study, Dr. Janelle Snap trained 3 9-year-old sighted students how to provide verbal feedback to a 9-year-old classmate, Raj, who was totally blind, by providing feedback concerning his direction of eye gaze while he was communicating. A multiple baseline design using self-evaluation with feedback was implemented. The results were positive, with Raj modifying and stabilizing his direction of eye gaze. Raj was also able to evaluate himself with external feedback. The research suggests the importance of teachers modeling for their students how to provide verbal feedback for social skills that require visual cues to students with blindness in their classroom. Dr. Janelle Snap suggests children with blindness may learn social skills faster due to this verbal feedback from significant others. In his third study, Dr. Janelle Snap focused on the need for significant others, teachers, friends, and family members to give verbal and appropriate feedback to children with blindness if they were to develop satisfying social skills and subsequent interaction with others. Samir, a totally blind 9-year-old, and 4 of his sighted classmates were study participants. The sighted participants were taught to provide feedback to Samir regarding his direction of eye gaze and other information he desired. Dr. Janelle Snap was interested in finding out if there was an increase in Samir's conversation with others and modification of his eye gaze due to feedback. After intervention, Samir increased his conversation, improved his direction of gaze, asked his classmates for feedback concerning his direction of eye gaze, and used self-evaluation well. Implications of this study conducted by Dr. Jandel Snap are: 1. Verbal feedback is important for the development of social skills of children with visual impairment. 2. Significant others must be taught how and when to give helpful verbal feedback to blind children. 3. Even though only 4 classmates were trained by the researcher on how to give verbal feedback, the other members of Samir's class learned how to also give him verbal feedback. In summary, it is important for teachers to model how to provide verbal feedback to students who are blind. Number 4. Classmates of students with blindness need to be taught that their blind classmates listen to voices. For example, the tone of a voice, the closeness of the speaker, and the language used by the speaker, rather than seeing people's body language, the details of the environment they are in, etc. Number 5. Both sighted and students with blindness should increase their repertoire of social skills. Retrieved on October 15, 2009 from www.tsbvi.edu. A list of tips for parents of children with blindness to enhance their children's socialization, compiled by Dr. Sharon Sachs, includes the following. Number 1. Encouraging your child to engage in eye contact and appropriate gestural behavior. Number 2. Encourage your child to explore different environments by providing experiences like going to a playground or the market. 3. Encourage your child to use turn-taking when speaking with others. When we talk about turn-taking, we're talking about the blind child saying, "How are you?" and waiting for the communication partner to say, "I am fine." That is communication and turn-taking. Number 4, provide opportunities for your child to share while playing with you and others. Children who are blind need to be taught how to share and how to play. 5, facilitate interactions between your child and their siblings, other family members, and their peers. 6, introduce your child to the most popular games, toys, and words, as well as encouraging him to use them when he plays with you and others. 7, enroll your child in a group, such as a temple group, church group, sports, or dance club. 8, encourage your child to invite her peers over to play at your home. 9, try to find other children with blindness your child can play with. Also, according to Dr. Sachs, social skills that foster social integration of children with blindness with the sighted population are direction of eye gaze, relaxed but erect posture, positive initiation with others, the ability to talk on many subjects or topics, sharing in group activities, turn-taking in conversations and interaction with others, having a repertoire of play activities that promote inclusion into activities such as knowing how to play cricket, swim, dance, etc. Dressing and grooming appropriately for the child's age group. Eating etiquette. Facial expressions. Interpreting verbal and non-verbal cues. Expectation of situational behaviors for play, school, and work experiences. Decision-making skills and problem-solving skills. Complementing and empathy skills. And the ability to draw upon past experiences. Located on the same website from Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired, as Dr. Sharon Sachs tips, Olivia Schomburger has additional suggestions for parents of children with visual impairments as well. They are: 1. Teach acceptable manners to your child with blindness. 2. Teach practical skills like dressing, bathing, and eating. 3. Encourage problem solving. As you can see, there are commonalities between Dr. Sachs and Miss Olivia Schomburger's suggestions for parents. Let's keep going. 4. Encourage independence. 5. Encourage the development of interests, talents, and capabilities in your child who is blind. 6. Discuss social situations before and after they occur. By discussing these situations with your child, you can talk about what worked well and what did not in fostering communication between the child and others. 7. Provide role-playing activities that practice social skills. 8. Explain visual cues and body language. 9. Don't accept inappropriate behavior at any time. And 10. Give family responsibilities to your child and expect a high level of performance. Ms. Schomburger also states, the visually handicapped child has only others to teach appropriate social skills. Silence does not teach these skills. Ms. Schomburger goes on to say, other strategies for teachers of students with visual impairments to use when teaching social skills to students with blindness include encouraging independence, teaching leisure and survival skills like money management and orientation and mobility, practicing reciprocal conversation, having the child learn to manage his temper, learning the difference between being assertive and aggressive, developing a knowledge of the world, acquiring helping skills, learning coping strategies, such as, if I am lost, what do I do now? Learning how to show appreciation and reciprocal behaviors to others, and conforming to group mores. Initially, the social skills training sessions should be brief and then increase in complexity. Dr. Sachs and Dr. Wolf also mention strategies for facilitating social experiences among children with blindness. These strategies include: 1. Encourage students to participate in after-school and weekend activities sponsored by agencies or organizations for persons who are blind. 2. Encourage students to engage in outdoor activities like skiing, biking, kayaking, swimming, wall climbing. 3. Encourage participation in cricket or goalball. 4. Arrange for students in the same area to meet together for group instruction in daily living skills, recreational activities, and field trips to museums and concerts. 5. Encourage students to go to summer camps or other programs sponsored by Schools for the Blind or agencies for blind children and people. 6. Develop a pen pal network among blind students using the internet. Another idea is to pair successful role models with blindness with students with visual impairments that have similar attributes and interests. This use of successful role models can help children improve their self-determination and self-advocacy skills. For example, a blind primary school child can visit a preschool classroom and show the students how he reads Braille, writes Braille with a Braille writer, just like the sighted students do, but in a different way. A middle school student may want to tag along with a college-age blind student to see how he organizes his life to be successful in college. How does he travel? Where does he live? What assistive technology does he find most useful to be successful in college? These adult role mentors can provide invaluable information to adolescents with blindness. Specific information on sexuality, employment, nonverbal cues and gestures, dressing tips, and work behaviors can be discussed. Without this type of information, adolescents with blindness may be rejected by their peer group as they may speak too loudly, interrupt a conversation at the wrong time, engage in manneristic behavior such as eye poking, finger flicking while talking with others, or standing too close to people when talking with them. Another skill adult role models can assist adolescents with blindness is learning how to be assertive rather than aggressive. Assertiveness leads to social acceptance, while being aggressive can lead to conflict and rejection by peers. Dr. Sachs and Dr. Wolf, in teaching social skills to students with visual impairments, from theory to practice, suggest the following strategies when teaching assertiveness skills to blind children. Number 1, teach students who are blind how to position their bodies when speaking to someone and how to direct their eye gaze by physically manipulating the students' bodies. Erect body posture with their chins being parallel to the floor and their shoulders being in line with their hips also needs to be taught, as well as how to lean slightly forward towards a communication partner is also recommended. 2, explanation of nonverbal signals needs to be discussed. For example, if an individual with blindness's head is turned away from a communication partner, then the sighted person may assume the blind person is not interested in what the sighted person has to say. Another example is the blind student raising his shoulders to indicate he is asking a question. To teach these gestures, a teacher may use hand over hand or a hand under hand approach, touching the blind person's body and allowing the blind child to touch her body. 3, facial expressions of sighted people need to be taught. Verbal feedback from others can assist students with blindness to understand what their facial expressions are suggesting to sighted people. A sighted peer may say to Joshua, a blind classmate, "You must be happy as you have a big smile on your face." Tactually exploring sculptures or real people's faces are other teaching props to help with the acquisition of this skill. 4, interpreting voice tone and inflection is another important skill students with blindness must have. What does a whiny voice mean? Or a screaming voice? Or a sarcastic voice? Or a soft voice? Children who are blind need to be taught what the voice tone and inflection mean. 5, students with blindness need to be able to use I statements rather than you statements when stating how they feel to the others. For example, "I am upset when you do not call to tell me you are going to be late picking me up to go to the cricket game." 6, learning when and where to express feelings or thoughts is also an important skill to learn. Some things are better said in private rather than in a large group setting. Tips for socializing with sighted individuals are: 1, People who are blind will need to be initiators of conversation with sighted people. Statements like, "How are you?" "Nice day, don't you think?" may be used. Many times a sighted person will not initiate communication with a blind person initially. 2. Teach students who are blind not to interrupt, but to recognize that a lull in conversation may be a good time to start talking. Knowing to apologize if they do interrupt is also a necessary skill to know. 3. For casual conversations, such as at parties or social events, it is a good idea to only talk to one person for 2 to 3 minutes at the most before moving on to someone else. 4. Avoiding close-ended questions is a must. Open-ended questions facilitate conversations. Statements like, "Tell me about your favorite hobby. What did you do on your last vacation?" are examples of open-ended questions. In conclusion, the important points to remember from today's lecture are: Number 1, children with blindness and low vision do not learn social skills visually and incidentally the same way as sighted children, because they cannot observe accurately how people interact with others. 2. Inappropriate social skills create many difficulties for children with blindness and can affect their future earning capacity and happiness. 3. Positive early experiences in the development of the socialization of children with blindness should foster turn-taking, use of eye gaze and gestures, reciprocal interactions, and the initiation of communication with other peers. 4. Research has demonstrated the importance of students with blindness to receive verbal feedback from sighted people to learn how to communicate effectively with others, as well as to self-evaluate their own communication actions. It is apparent that teachers, parents, and peers must be taught how to provide this verbal feedback by you as a teacher of children with visual impairments. Additionally, teachers need to model verbal feedback for the students in their classroom, so they can use it with the blind friend and classmate. 5. Adults who are blind can be excellent role models for students with blindness to assist them with self-determination and self-advocacy, thereby improving their social skills. 6. Teachers of students with visual impairments have a repertoire of instructional strategies they can use when teaching social skills to students, from teaching students how to stand when talking with others to interpreting other people's body language. 7. Teachers of students with visual impairments need to encourage social interaction between students with blindness and other individuals and teach assertiveness skills to students who are blind. 8. Miss Olivia Schomburger states, "The visually handicapped child has others to teach appropriate social skills. Silence does not teach these skills." This statement highlights the importance educators play in the successful socialization of children with blindness. I hope you have gained some new information today that you can use in your work on social skills with students who are blind. Thank you for listening.
You were listening to the audio program Social Skills for Students with Blindness. The subject expert and speaker was Dr. Nora Griffin Shirley. Announcer was Anuradha. This program was recorded, edited, and presented by Amar Bahadur Yadav. This audio program was production of the Electronic Media Production and Research Center, EMPRC, of Madhya Pradesh Bhoj Open University.